Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Tim's Time. Well, let me be the first to wish you a Happy New Year's. I hope God has given you everything that you needed for Christmas and that He's going to bless you as you face into 2018. I hope that it will be a year of prayer, devotion, service, and joy, and that you will produce much spiritual fruit. I'm standing here wearing the robe that I ordinarily wear to do weddings or for special events. You don't know the story behind this robe. This robe is so old and kind of tattered. It's the only one I've ever had. It dates back to my very first pastorate. In fact, it was a gift from a family. It dates back to a very special lady. She was the first lady that I actually knew as a parishioner and loved, who came down with cancer and who passed away. Her name was Grace, and she was a lady of grace. Miss Grace was pretty interesting, and she came down with cancer. It was not a good situation, and I was not a good pastor. I wasn't ready for the moment. I was full of excitement in my first pastorate, full of vision, full of plans, but I wasn't really full of know-how and experience, and I had never really lost anyone close to me. And so I was hesitant to go and try to minister to her and held back a little bit because I was really out of my depth. And her family was so gracious to me, and she was the epitome of grace. And eventually I worked up my nerve and my courage, and I sat down with her, and we talked about life, faith, hope, death. She was the first person who ever used the phrase with me, there are worse things than dying. There's dying without Christ and not living. Her family, one of her daughters, I remember saying, our mother taught us, all these years, our mother taught us how to live. At the end, she's taught us how to die. And so I did her funeral and became very close with that family. And as a gift, rather than giving me an honorarium, they gave me this robe, my first ever robe. The zipper doesn't really work on it, so when it comes time to wear it or do a wedding, I just slip it over the top and then carefully slip it off. It doesn't sit as well as it used to, but it means so much to me. What in the world, Tim, does that have to do with New Year's? Well, just this. Sometimes when we pastors or minister types or visionary types challenge you to put away the past, you tend to respond, or people tend to respond as if we want you to forget all of the richness and all of the depth and all of the memories, both good and bad, that you have. When God speaks of forgetting what lies behind and pressing on toward what lies ahead, He's not thinking of dismissing all of the richness and all of the pain. He's thinking of allowing the past to inform the future as we press on and make the most of our future. I've done some factoring here. I'm not really a math person, and I had the staff check my notes. If you live this complete day, you will have been given 1,440 minutes. If God gives you the entirety of 2018, He would have given you at this time next year 525,600 minutes. Now, if that's too minute for you, then 8,760 hours, 52 weeks, 365 days. That's 500,000 minutes. It's kind of interesting to me, the number of people I talk with about either devotion time or prayer time, 4:32 or whatever, and they, I just don't really have 10 minutes to give. Really? You have 500,000 minutes. Let me say that again. 500,000 minutes. The question isn't whether or not you have enough time. The question is, what are you going to do with the time that the Lord gives you? What if He's promised you, and He hasn't promised any of us the rest of this day, let alone tomorrow, but what if He promised you the whole year, 500,000 or more minutes? What you going to do with that 500,000 minutes? What are your values going to be? How are you going to spend it? What's going to go at the top of the list? What's going to fall at the bottom of the list? Those are good questions to ask. And so before you make those New Year resolutions, you know the ones. See you tomorrow morning, bright and early at the gym. You know ones. Why not ask yourself the most important question? Where does he fit into my 2018? Hope you have a fantastic week, a fantastic month, a fantastic year, and I hope that when your 500,000 minutes are over, that you're looking back and thinking about the richness and the depth and the relationships that make life so special. God bless. Have a great week.